before you make judgment, before you place judgment on anyone, before you start condemning people, before you make your judgments, make sure that you learn to hear from both sides. Simply because you hear from Mr. A does not mean that Mr. B is wrong. And simply because you hear from Mr. B does not mean that Mr. A is wrong. So always learn to listen from both sides. Now, because we did not hear from the lady, from Comfort, but many people have now decided to condemn this lady. Now, from the eyewitness, from a genuine source, here is exactly what triggered this lady to made her did what she did in the plane. So this is exactly what triggered the lady. This is what triggered her. The news is from the genuine source. So let us listen to what this man has to tell Nigeria, exactly what conspired between the plane attendants and the Comfort. So let's listen to this video.
And I'd like to just stick to that. Now, I was sitting to her immediate left. So I was on the aisle seat to the left. She was on the aisle seat to the right. So my seat number was 14B. There was a gentleman to my left who was on 14A. So her own seat number should be either 14C or D. I think the window seat is 14D, while she was 14C on the aisle. So we're right next to each other, and it was a small plane. So I think the distance between us was no more than 2 feet. Yeah, so I heard everything. I saw all that transpired. And yes, she was triggered. Even though the lady, the air hostess, the second air hostess who was speaking to her, was directing all her instructions to her, just me sitting down there, I actually felt humiliated myself, just looking at the way the lady was being spoken to. To be fair, Ibom Air instructed very clearly. The first air hostess that came instructed very clearly, no airplane mode, no airplane mode, switch off your phone. After takeoff, then you can put on and put flight mode. So it was very clear. The first air hostess addressed us on the emergency exit row protocols. After she did that, she spoke to Miss Emerson and said, please switch off your phone. She told her twice, and then this first air hostess left to continue her duties. The second air hostess, who is the one blocking exactly who is being shown now, that second air hostess now came towards us in the emergency exit and stood, even from her posture, see that she came for trouble, and Miss Emerson had been fiddling with her phone. I noticed she was trying to do some stuff, I don't know. And so she told her again, switch off your phone, switch off your phone. And Miss Emerson said clearly to her, I heard it. She said, please, the buttons on my phone for switch off are not working. They are not working, so I don't know how to switch it off. And the woman said, no, switch off your phone. So that back and forth went on. So at a point, that's the second air hostess said, look, you're even using an iPhone, so you don't need a button to switch it off. So the lady said, okay, I don't know how to do it. Can you do it for me? And she said, I'm not touching your phone. I'm not touching your phone. Just switch it off. She said, I don't know what to do. So the lady now said, okay, go to settings. And when you go to settings, go to general. So the girl was holding and said, see, please, I can't understand what you're saying. I can't read. I don't know what you're saying. You're saying where I should go to. The woman, the second air hostess now told her, I don't have time for your nonsense. Please just switch it off. She said, okay. Mr. Martin now asked, can you spell the general? So the air hostess started actually saying G, okay, G, then E. So that was the point that the gentleman on my left and I said, come on, what's going on? Calm, don't speak to her like this. Let's, the second air hostess did not even acknowledge her. She didn't even to my side to even see that someone was speaking. So at that point, I asked the gentleman to her right and said, please, can you just help this lady? I don't use an iPhone. I've never used an iPhone, so I'm not too familiar with settings and all of that. So the gentleman to her right now took the phone and started trying to sort it out. So when that was going on, Miss Emerson started talking to the second air hostess and said, why are you embarrassing her like this? Why? Why are you? And then the air hostess told her, you better keep quiet now. If you say another word, I will deal with you. That was when Miss Emerson flared up and started cursing. I cannot say the the things that she was actually saying because the language was very flowery and X-rated, I can't say. So that was when this second air hostess said, okay, you see. And then she left and went towards the front of the airplane. She never came back. At least I don't recollect her coming back through the aisle throughout the flight. So that is exactly what transpired. So after that happened, the gentleman to the right switched off the phone or whatever it was he did. And a couple of passengers tried to say, switch off your phone, don't risk our lives, blah, blah, blah. And then we told them, no, that's not what happened. She never said she wasn't going to switch off her phone. She was trying to switch off her phone. She said she had issues switching it off. And so the passengers calmed down and we took off. So that is what happened. But it was clear, at least to us on the emergency exit row, it was clear that there was a problem here. She needed to be handled very well. Because this lady kept simmering throughout the flight. She was cursing. I could hear her because I was right next to her. She was really upset. She felt as if these people are just against me. And why? She said she bought this ticket with her own money. So why should they treat her like this? That's what she was saying, and that's what I'm hearing. And I can't tell you what the other thing she was saying because they were really nasty. But she wasn't directing to anyone, but she was just talking. So it was clear that she was angry. And the second air hostess, the aggressor, kept checking, kept peeping to see how things are going at our end throughout the flight. I noticed it. So the passenger by my side, as we're approaching landing, we're like, God help us, so let's get out of this plane before anything happened. And we were saying it in jest, but we also knew that something was off. We're so worried that I discussed with him. I said, okay, when they were telling us to stow away and put everything ready for landing, the lady didn't even hear any of that. I told her, I said, we're landing, switch off your phone, put it away. Then the second air hostess, the first air hostess, the very polite and amiable and professional one came, helped her to stow away, helped her take her purse, put it in the cabin on top, and was very professional. So all of that happened, and then the plane landed. Once the plane landed, the first air hostess, the professional one, came to the front and started disembarking by room. Just before it came to our turn, Ms. Emerson left and went back. And I presume she went to the toilet. I used the toilet myself, right? And I noticed that the only apartment at the back is the toilet. There isn't even an apartment, cabin crew and all of that like regular thing. This one is just the toilet. That's the only. So that's why I presume she went to the toilet. So when it got to our turn to disembark, those of us on our road disembarked and we went out and totally forgot about the hooks part until the videos and all came. So that's what happened. This is what I heard. This is what I know happened. Issue of airplane mode. That didn't come up, at least I didn't.
So, Mr. Ogebe, first of all, if I heard you correctly, you said Ms. Emerson said she couldn't read. She was even asking that general be spelled.
Oh, yes. That is what happened. So whether she meant that she couldn't see properly or she couldn't read as in wasn't literate, I don't know. But that's what she said. And the second L started spelling. Okay, G, okay, E. That's what happened.
So as you all can see, learn before you judge anything, before you place your judgment. Always listen from both sides. Don't just conclude because you hear from Mr. A and you have not heard from Mr. B. Don't just conclude.